Welcome everybody to ArtsBuild's Friday Community Zoom for September. I'm Melissa, the Manager of Grants and Community Engagement here at ArtsBuild. We're so glad to have you all join us. Today we have two amazing speakers. The first speaker is N'nako. I'm going to read a brief bio and put up a bio for her. I thought I was, but an alumni of Purdue University and a resident of Chattanooga for over 15 years. She combines her rich heritage and her love for nature, art, and culture in all her work. Welcome, N'nako.
Thank you for having me. Do you want me to start?
Yes, you're welcome to move forward talking about your book and your work with Audubon Acres.
Okay. I am N'nako Kandé. I'm originally from Côte d'Ivoire, which is in West Africa. Most people know it as the Ivory Coast. The French name for it is Côte d'Ivoire. And I have been a member of the Audubon Acres for like a few years, I think 2 or 3 years. But it's very recently, in the course of April, that I realized that there was more to the place than just a hiking place. I realized, let's say I developed a greater appreciation for the Cherokee culture and the fact that the Audubon Acres document how some of the trees that were used for medicinal purposes. And I developed such a connection with the environment and the place there that it really impacted my writing in the past months. I tend to write frequently, like the past years, I had like 1 book a year, pretty much. But this year, I actually had like 2 books that I released in the course of 3 months. And a lot of it had to do with the time that I spent there. And one of the reasons why I want to reach out to the community to spend more time with the Audubon Acres and more time in nature is because I've noticed too that in addition to just being a pretty place, mentally, spending time in nature have incredible health benefits. And we talk a lot about mental health, but we don't address enough as something as simple as developing a simple habit of spending like 20 to 30 minutes to an hour in nature on a consistent basis can have such an impact on not just our mental health, but our productivity, the quality of our lives, and a lot of other things that we tend to take for granted. And the book that I wrote is I document some of the benefits that I experienced there. And I also use the book to make the connection between roots. Because you see trees, we think about the roots. And then I make the connection between the biological aspect of the roots and metaphorically, how do roots impact us? And as I was doing this, I did some research and connected with community in other places, like communities in Zambia, organizations in Zambia that play a role in environmental issues, climate issues. And I got to realize that everything is connected. We are connected. Like some of the issues that we have here in Chattanooga that we may not address, they have other issues in other place, any other place in the world. And one of my mission with the book is, in addition to inspiring people to spend more time in nature, and also getting people to spend more time reflecting on their health, on their personal roots, on their sense of identity, and why it's so important to spend time in nature, why it's so important to take better care of our mental health, but also have a call to action like, hey, let's take care of ourselves physically, let's take care of each other as a community, and also let's take care of the environment, because everything is really connected. So one of my reasons for wanting to share with people and let them know about the book is that I would like to make myself more available for the community, for sessions. Either is to book a session and come and say, hey, let's talk about the book. Let's talk about culture. Let's talk about our cultural identity. Let's talk about our heritage as individually and as people. Let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about the simple things that we can do individually and collectively to really make an impact on the environment. So this is really what I would like to do, for people to know that we have things right here in Chattanooga that we can use. And those things can be connected to so many facets of our lives, from I'm an artist too, from our art to our writing, to the quality of our health. And at the same time, we can connect with a global community. And I would love for people to say, hey, N'nako, will you come and help us? Either we go hiking and learn about trees and their medicinal properties and discuss those different things, or having like session with different kind of groups. It can be workplace, it can be schools, it can be hospital, it can be any kind of environment, but the conversation can happen there because we're all individuals. Whatever we do, we bring ourselves to our places. So this is really what I would like to offer, and what I would like people to see, that, hey, there's value in here, and I'm here to serve. And I pray that people get to benefit from all the many things that I shared in the book. Did you have any questions?
Yeah, a couple questions. Can you repeat the name of your book and convey where folks can find your book?
This is the book. It's called The Art of Rooting. And I picked the title Rooting because of the roots of a tree, but also the expression like, I'm rooting for you. Like, I'm waiting for you. And trees, you know, like, we don't think a lot about what trees do, right? We see them standing, but we don't realize about the strength and the power, the importance of the roots, like what's really going on under. And then when we reflect about our own self-identity, what's our roots? What's your cultural roots? If you were to draw like your family tree, what does your tree look like? How strong are your roots? So I explore all those different meaning of roots through the book, and that's why I picked the title, like The Art of Rooting. And the book can be found on Amazon. I have copies, signed copies, if people want to order some signed copies with me. A book session, if they want a book session with me, I'll have books available for private sessions. But this is The Art of Rooting. And I cover a lot of different things. We talk about roots. I have things about mushrooms in here. I cover things about mushrooms. I have communities from Zambia that are very active with climate activities and protective environments. Some send me pictures, some send me documentations of the work that they do. And I learned so much about trees, that trees can be used to absorb lead in the ground. Like in some community in Zambia, they will plant trees just to absorb the lead pollution from the ground to help the population dealing with lead contamination. So there's just so much to explore about the books, and it's very big. I have interviewed at the end of the book where I interview some people, and they do I ask questions about the work they do for the environment, how they connect to the environment, and what the word roots also evoke for them. So it's a cultural journey. The book starts in Chattanooga. I pretend that we are all going on a hike. So I start the book with some hiking tips. So even if you don't like hiking, I'm like, hey, you may not like hiking, but this is why you should give it a try. And then I offer benefits of spending time in nature. So we start like with that little hike. I give a brief introduction of what the Trail of Tears mean, because the Audubon Acres is based on the historic site of the Trail of Tears. So I document this on the book. But throughout the book, we take this journey where we go all the way to Africa. So connecting like the global community with the environmental issues. And because I'm a poet and I'm also an artist, I use the word roots to reflect the influences in my life that got me to do art and poetry, that kind of things. So this is available on Amazon. It's a whole lot more than just a nature book. It's a whole lot more than just mental health. It covers a lot of things, and it's a very enriching experience. Very, very enriching one. I think that's the books I'm the proudest of. That's like my if book. And that's definitely one I'm the proudest of. And there's also this one here. This one is also called the Art of Routing, but it's a coloring and activity book. All the artwork is mine, and it's also inspired by time that I spent at the Audubon Acre. So this one is more like a very cultural journey in mental health. So the exercise will really get you thinking, but it's something that's fun to do regardless of your age, and something you could do with kids, because I love to do things that are kid friendly or family friendly. So this is a good book to do with kids. And the Audubon Acre have actually endorsed this book for one of the kids program there. So that's it.
Awesome. Over the last few years, we've worked with organizations that are focusing on the environment and the intersection of art within the work they do, such as reflection writing and Crabtree Farms. And it's really nice to see Audubon Acres also supporting artists in our communities, because art has a place everywhere, particularly in our environment. Art helps us root into the issues that come with having an environment and climate. You know, a current project that ArtsBuild is facilitating is our art and climate program. Our 3 local artists and a national artist for the next year are exploring in East Lake the impact of climate on that community and how to support them to move forward in a more proactive manner. So it's really nice to see that you're working with Audubon Acres. I know that they do appreciate you, so thank you.
Thank you.
Great. And so now we have Humanities Tennessee. Humanities Tennessee is an organization that has been around for 50 years. Their mission is to foster community and civility in Tennessee through public programs that examine and reflect upon ideas, stories, history, arts, and culture. We've invited Patrick here today because the Southern Festival of Books is coming up. It is in the end of October. He'll talk about specific dates, and it's in Nashville. And we thought it was a really nice pairing with N'nako's book and her passion for literary arts. So I will open it up to you, Patrick. Thank you.
Hello, and thank you. You almost got very lucky. My mute button was a little stuck, and I thought, well, we'll see how this goes. Okay, well, hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm beaming in from Nashville, but I did bring along some treasures from my last trip to Chattanooga. We have some pancake mix from Aretha Frankenstein's and a shark that belongs to someone in this house from a certain aquarium. So hopefully you all can make it out to Nashville this fall. We will be celebrating the 35th annual Southern Festival of Books. It is a giant weekend of just that sort of celebration and connecting about literature, books, and ideas. N'nako, you had some great stuff there where you're like, let's talk about this, let's talk about this, let's talk about this. I was like, yes, that's what our festival hopes to do as well. We love for folks to talk with authors, talk amongst themselves, figure out, new ways to see this world that we're living in. So I am going to again attempt fate here and try to share my screen. We'll see. You'll probably get to see a little behind the works. Let's see. Yeah, anything come up? Something? Something. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Are you all seeing something that looks like something that says Humanities Tennessee? And maybe some side pictures. Why not? I did not tidy up my desktop. Okay, so let's see. So yes, Humanities Tennessee, we're celebrating our 50th year doing programming throughout our great state. So we do conversation projects, we work with museums, we do this festival. We also do student programs like the Young Writers Workshop, where we invite high school age students to a college campus for a week to study with professional writers and with each other and to write, hand out books to students, all of that sort of stuff. But what I'm here to talk about is, yes, indeed. Well, yeah, there's the Young Writers Workshop. But we're moving on to the Southern Festival of Books. So for the past several years, the festival has taken place in a place called Legislative Plaza in Nashville. And this year, we're going down the hill to the other side of that, our Capitol building. And so we will be in Bicentennial Mall State Park and share our joy and our love of literature with the Tennessee State Library and Archives and the Tennessee State Museum as well. So we'll have this whole footprint across these three entities. And this weekend, oh, it's not this weekend, it's coming up though. So it'll be October 21st and 22nd. It's a Saturday and a Sunday. And we'll have over 150 authors doing many different sessions. Some authors are paired up with other authors. Some authors are going to speak by themselves. And they'll all be mostly talking about books that have just come out this past year. There's some subliminal thing. I'll just keep throwing up the logo over and over again as we run through. So we'll be celebrating poetry. Terrence Hayes is actually going to be coming a little before the festival during the week and doing a program at Tennessee State University. So we also have stuff that is not poetry. This would be nonfiction. We'll celebrate all manner of literature. How do books get chosen for the festival? As I mentioned earlier this summer to a group, we look for books with covers where people's hands are on fire. So if you put that on the cover, you will be at the festival. So we do fiction books, of course. We've got local writers, Tennessee-based writers, very local. This book is about this very spot that the festival will be taking place. And books for our students. Again, I know ArtsBuild, you all do some wonderful work with the students in our state. This year on Friday, we're actually going to throw the whole festival over to our students to come and enjoy a morning and early afternoon with Carl Hyacin and Donna Barba Higuera. So we're very excited. All the students will get books, and we're hoping, who knows, maybe in the future we can expand it and have even more students from across the state take part. More books. Music books, why not? Yeah, folks who have been lauded with all sorts of awards and those whose awards are yet to come. Mystery books, just all sorts of books. So I won't keep scrolling through. We have so many different books, but I will share with you our map just so you can sort of feel what it might feel like to see this space. So I'm going to do that now. Let's see if it's working. Come on. No? Yes? You seen a map? Yeah. All right. So you can envision yourself here in Nashville. So, and again, sort of in the spirit of the arts building and the community at the festival, yeah, it's great to listen to stories and to interact with folks, but we also do enjoy sort of that creation aspect as well. So we have over near our Tennessee State Museum site, something we are calling the Big Fiery Gizzard and Little Pigeons Creativity Land, where we'll have a poetry piñata that you can, throughout the day, smash the piñata, words will fly out. You can create poems from words that other folks at the festival have put in there. Bookmark making. We're hoping to see if we can do the world's fastest growing library, where we'll encourage participants to write a story in 10 minutes or less on a little book and put it on a bookshelf, and then see if we can get that bookshelf just filled up over the weekend. And yeah, food trucks, music stages, performance stages, and it's all free. So yeah, we have all these events. You can go home with lots of souvenirs, but the weekend itself is free. And then, yeah, those advanced opportunities are also free. There's one where you have to purchase the book, but other than that, all free. And we welcome you with open arms. The festival hours are 9 to 6 on Saturday. So if you're leaving from Chattanooga, you get that glorious hour difference too. So sleep in, make your journey over, find some friends, and maybe take N'nako up and on her sort of inspiration and hike here. Just hike from Chattanooga to Nashville. See, it might give yourself a little bit of extra time. Make it a long hike, join us for the weekend, and then hike back with hopefully wonderful memories. So yeah, that's sort of what the festival will be up to. Yeah, Sundays 10 to 5. So we'll hope to see you there. Any questions from the eastern
My
part?
main question was going to be, what is the day in the life of the festival look like? And the map has really helped to kind of give a overview. And I really loved hearing the piñata idea of creating poetry. So that was great. What was your decision for moving it from one location to the other?
Well, construction. So we're very fortunate to have such awesome partners here with the State Library and Archives and the Tennessee State Museum, and then to have this, glorious patch of grass here in Nashville. So it's certainly a wonderful site, but our previous site there on Legislative Plaza, there was talk of renovation, and so we said, uh-oh, we might need to move this thing along.
That makes sense. What I remember about visiting Nashville a few months ago was a lot of cranes.
Oh, yeah.
So that, I guess that doesn't shock me.
Yeah.
But so through your website, so if somebody from Chattanooga, it's not a long drive, less than 2 hours, but if they wanted to stay overnight, do y'all give suggestions of places to stay, or is there a place to reach out to help folks find that?
For overnights, yeah. So we don't have it listed on the site, but if anyone is hearing this and wants to send me a message, I'm happy to sort of compile some suggestions and tips. I'd have to check with the family to see about crashing here on the floor behind me, but who knows? Yeah, but we can certainly help with that. The website is sofestofbooks.org. And there is other information up there, but currently not any lodging ideas.
Awesome. Thank you, Patrick. The Humanities Tennessee does a wide variety of things throughout their organization. And I would be remiss to not add that they do have granting opportunities. So check out their websites for all their offerings, because Southern Festival of Books is just one of many things that they offer. So thank you, Patrick. We're really appreciative of you coming and showing us the map and talking about the festival.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Awesome. And so now we're in the part of the Zoom where I'm going to talk about upcoming announcements for ArtsBuild. There are 2 grants to keep an eye out for. One is our racial equity grant. It's for BIPOC female artists. That application is currently live. It is due October 5th. So the deadline is rapidly approaching, but you definitely have time to apply. It is a grant that you can request up to $10,000 in different areas, such as professional development, equipment, artist fees, and things of that nature. If you go to our website to the link that says grant making, it'll lead you to that application and guidelines. You would reach out to me, Melissa, at artsbuild.com to learn more. And maybe this grant, you don't fall within the designation that it's focusing on. Very soon after, it's going to open up Artist Works. It's a similar grant up to $10,000. The goal of the grant is to help artists to put them into working mode and to provide funding for them to move forward projects that they have in mind that will lead to an exhibit or a performance. And so that one is going to open up at the beginning of November. And so one is the racial equity grant for individual artists, and it's BIPOC female artists is the designation, and then Artist Works. We also, on October 26th, have a workshop coming up. and it's from 9 to 11:30 at ArtsBuild. Hinton and Company will facilitate a DEIA workshop that covers board development. And so I will link in the form to sign up. It's a free workshop. It's part of our shared services program. And I think that is all we have for our announcements. Is there any final thoughts that y'all would like to add before we end this community Zoom? I think they're good. Well, we're super appreciative of y'all jumping on a Friday, and we hope that everybody has a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you all so much.
Nice meeting you, Patrick.
Nice meeting you, N'nako. Come on over and visit.
I will.